So, Google's just dropped this new AI music tool. And honestly, it's pretty mind-blowing. It really feels like a game changer. But there's a secret, and it's hiding in plain sight.
Okay, so this thing is powered by their new Lyria 3 engine. And what it does is just wild. You type in a prompt, right? Anything you want, and boom, seconds later, you get a fully polished, professional sounding track. We're talking vocals, custom cover art, the whole shebang. It seriously feels like magic. But if you're a music producer, you'll notice right away something's missing. A huge, crucial button is just not there. You get the final audio track, no problem, but you can't get the raw ingredients to actually work with it. So what's the deal? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig in and find out exactly why.
All right, so to really get what's going on here, we've got to start with the basics, the tools of the trade. And that all begins with that missing button.
So music pros, they work in something called a DAW. That stands for Digital Audio Workstation. The easiest way to think about it, it's like Photoshop, but for music. It's the digital studio where all the real work gets done. Composing, editing, mixing the final track.
And here's the best way to wrap your head around this. Think of it like this. Google gives you the audio file, which is basically a finished, baked cake. Sure, it sounds great, but you can't go back and change the ingredients, right? They're locked in. What producers really want is the MIDI data. That's the recipe. It's the actual set of instructions, the notes, the timing, the velocity, everything. With the recipe, you can change instruments, tweak melodies. You can make the song truly yours. That right there, that's creative control. And that is exactly what Google is holding back.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't some kind of technical problem or a feature they haven't gotten around to yet. Oh no, this is a very deliberate, very calculated choice.
Because, get this, Google can give you the MIDI recipe. They totally can, and it's a big but, there's a catch. The only way to get it is by installing their special plugin. This thing pipes the data directly into your DAW, creating what is essentially a backdoor. It forces you to be connected to Google's system just to work with your own ideas. And that backdoor, it's not just some small technical detail. It is the absolute core of their strategy. It's all about locking creators into the Google ecosystem, and they do it in two really clever ways.
Okay, so first up, it's all about usage, not ownership. See, a MIDI file is just raw data. It's anonymous. You could say it's off the grid. But an audio file, that can be watermarked with a digital fingerprint, which makes it totally trackable. And second, that plugin we talked about, it keeps you permanently tethered to their cloud. You're never really working offline. You become a node in their network, which means they can watch exactly how you create.
The tech they're using for this tracking is called SynthID, and it's pretty wild. Think of it like an invisible watermark that's baked right into the sound waves. And this thing is tough. It survives compression, you can speed it up or slow it down, you can even re-record it through a speaker, and the watermark is still there. It's a permanent digital signature that basically screams, Google made this. And as you can imagine, that has huge implications for things like copyright and royalties.
So all of this, the plugin, the watermarking, it's all building up to what Google is really after. And it's not just about controlling your music. It's about harvesting something way more valuable, your creative expertise. Let's call this idea the human delta. It's the key to everything. You know how when an AI generates music, it can be technically perfect, but it just lacks soul? It feels a little robotic? Well, the delta is the mathematical difference between that robotic suggestion and the soulful, nuanced human edits that a real producer makes. It's the feel, the groove. It's the secret sauce that makes music actually feel human. And they've built the perfect feedback loop to capture it. Here's how it works. Step 1, the AI generates a melody and sends it to you through that plugin. Step 2, you, the talented human producer, you get to work. You start nudging notes around to add some swing. You adjust the velocity to add feeling. Step 3, Google's plugin captures every single change you make. That right there is the human delta. And finally, step 4, all of that incredibly valuable data gets fed right back into their AI model. You're basically giving their AI a free masterclass in how to sound more human. Which brings us to a pretty powerful realization, captured perfectly in this quote. Producers aren't just making music, they're effectively acting as unpaid quality assurance testers. Every time you fix the AI's work, you're refining Google's product for them, using your own talent for free. So yeah, this whole strategy goes way beyond just training an AI. What's really happening here is a fundamental shift. It's completely redefining what it means to be a creator. Think about it. In the old model, when you had the MIDI, the recipe, you were the composer. You had the creative authority. But in this new system, your role changes. You're not really a composer anymore. You're more like a data labeler. You're given the finished cake, and your job is to say, yes, this is good, or no, this is bad, providing the feedback that teaches the AI. Your creative genius just becomes another data point for their model. So it really all boils down to this, doesn't it? By just not including one simple button, Google has built this incredible system where your creative labor is harvested to build a machine that could, one day, make your job obsolete. And that leaves us with a really big, kind of scary question. In this new world, when you're fixing the AI's music, are you the artist, or are you just its free teacher?